Hello, welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, I'm once again taking a look at one of your designs that you recommended me on mod.io. And for today we are going gigantic with a missile cruiser. And well, this thing that I'm currently standing on is called the Typhoon class guided missile cruiser, which is this glorious thing, or this gigantic thing, you see over here. So this is a massive white and black ship that features an impressive array of firepower all the way around this thing, which we're going to fire at the end of the video, and you'll find out why, because it's not too happy, the game's not too happy when we actually fire all of them. But yes, we'll try and do it at the end, hopefully it won't crash, and well, we're just going to press F10 and find it in the spawn menu. So the Typhoon class guided missile cruiser is 13,463 large blocks, using pretty much all the DLC packs. I'm so glad they actually fixed this, so it no longer goes off the screen. But up to here you can see all the scripts this thing uses, and then down here we've got a nice bit of information about it, including what you shouldn't do, what you should do, and of course its block, PCU, and all of that. So we're going to give this thing a thumbs up, there we go. We're going to have a brief look around the outside, have a tour of the interior. The interior is nice and small, surprisingly, for such a large ship. Then we're going to go drive it around, see what the controls are. Then in the distance there will be some space pirates, and luckily in each world I create we're now going to have the Prototech encounter, so I've got basically a guaranteed fight in every new world. So at the very front, for the Typhoon class guided missile cruiser, this is what we get, where as you can see right over here we've got ourselves two remote control blocks, blaster edge block, a time block with beam block in front of it, then a bunch of white blocks with a small dash of orange here and there. These orange sections right here are our doorways. There's going to be what's going to house our missiles. So pushing the camera all the way through, here we go, what we're going to find is, well, our custom missile with the light turned on. There we go, we've got some red blocks on the front there. We see a bunch of warheads, a bunch of batteries, and into there it's a gyroscope. Cross onto the side, there we are, we've got some hydrogen thrusters, time blocks. All the way towards the back there we see our conveyors, and of course has to be connected up to the rest of the ship. All of these missiles are automatically printed, welded up, then become ready to fire. There's lots of safety systems in places so you can't accidentally fire them. For this video, we're only going to be firing them once, because like I said, it's not too happy when we actually launch them all at the same time. Anyway, at the launch tube, around like so, there we see a gun on the side. One of many assault cannon turrets go all the way around this thing. We do have a couple artillery turrets on top, we'll see them in just a second. But no, looking at like so, there we are, then all the way across. So over on this section we see the start of our hydrogen thrusters, which is one of three types of thrusters that appear on this ship. Of course, we've got our hydrogen, we then got our ion, and then we've got our Prototech thrusters, where there's a bunch at the back there, but when you fire them all at the same time, it makes a very crunchy sound, which we'll see later on. It is absolutely spectacular to listen to. Yes, up here, what we've got is some decoration in the form of some warfare reactors into a column, into a truss decoy, onto a truss pillar, onto another column, onto another reactor. This is a very common theme all around this thing, which is a very neat way of actually using these blocks for decorative touches. Of course, we don't actually need those reactors on here. There's plenty of reactors from our Prototech batteries. All the way across, like so. There we are, more assault cannon turrets. There's our ion, more hydrogen thrusters. All the way over to here, here we go. There we see our fancy smaller gatling turrets. There's a doorway for another custom missile. We'll see a few more as we go all the way along this section. There's another one over there. Put it on my lights. All the way across, there's some more Prototech batteries. There's some more orange doorways to launch out our missiles. Over here, we then got our Prototech gyroscopes, which I do absolutely love when they twiddle around there. So much thought and attention has gone into those blocks, but it's just absolutely spectacular, and I'm so glad these are on the outside where you can see them, because they're just glorious to look at. Anyway, moving across, even more doorways for our missiles, more gyroscopes, then pulling away here, even further away, and there we are, across onto the side. So we've got more Prototech gyroscopes, more doorways for our missiles, more hydrogen thrusters, more grease for our columns. This one's got a green light on the opposite side would be one with a red light on. So we come over to this part, we've got a large hydrogen thruster, more Prototech gyroscopes, even more small hydrogen thrusters, a insect connector to dock it up, and across over to here is the start of our large Prototech thrusters to boost this thing around. So my light on once again, around over here, look at this thing, absolute glorious in the gold all around this thing, and they do have an absolute fantastic animation where you see thrusted trail that comes out of it, compared to the actual default thrusters that we're all familiar with. All the way down to this section, down towards the very bottom. This down here I originally thought was the very top of the ship, so I was looking at it like so. As per usual, I spawned it in upside down, but no, this is the very bottom of the ship, which is a antenna array, made out of a small little half antenna dish onto a column, comes across onto our compact antenna, and over to here we've got a massive hodgepodge of all different stuff. Of course down there we see some more columns, and then see our truss box come all the way up to a decoy, once again a little radar dish type thingy bob, and all the way up here, there we are. Of course looking on the side there we are. Then continue around towards the very back of this thing. Here we go. And there we are for the very back. So yes, we've got a bunch of protect thrusters, which do give it a great boost of speed. We also have a few ion thrusters, we've got a couple hydrogen thrusters, one in the middle, a few on the side. There we are, so we've got 3 on both sides. Then moving all the way up and looking down this thing. But we're looking at it like so. There we are. Bring the select background just a little bit so we get a very clear view on the top, so we don't have to keep using my lights. There we are. We now move across like so. And that's what we get. So some more small turrets on the side there to shoot down any kind of missiles coming towards us, or to deal with any kind of fast moving targets, which the assault cannons, artillery guns cannot handle. But yeah, speaking of artillery guns, we've got one right there and one right there. Going a bit closer over to here. Here we go. So we've got a thruster, more prototype gyroscopes, all the way across to here. And along. Then going towards the front there, more artillery turrets, that's where I'm standing. Then at the very front, there we go. Then moving all the way down underneath this thing, so past all of our remote control blocks, onto this section, turning my light once again, bring the sunlight back around. There we are. So yes, once again, a artillery turret, we see our assault cannon turrets on these sides. Then pulling away, large hydrogen thruster there, another turret, a second large hydrogen thruster. And all the way along towards the main body, lots and lots of thrusters. Down to here is of course our little radar dish, or our special antenna array that sticks out the very bottom. Then getting close up over onto this section, so down we come. So we see one hell of a lot of thrusters, we see our turrets, towards the back. And there we are. I suppose what we'll do is come all the way up to the top here, get a closer look at what's going on in these side sections. So they did sort of briefly go all the way over the top of this thing. So across like so, looking at this section, and there we are. So, like I said, we've got a whole hodgepodge of different stuff going on with this thing. So on the right hand side, we then got prototype batteries. That comes across to our prototype gyroscope. Then got columns. Then you see part of our O2H2 generator onto another prototype gyroscope. Then got interior walls with the pipe going through them. Then onto that section is another prototype battery. Zooming away, all the way across. Got even more prototype batteries on this thing. One hell of a lot of prototype stuff all the way around this thing. And across. Over to here, more batteries. A standard gyroscope. Then towards the front. Into this section. And I believe that's about it. The outside. I do absolutely love this stuff. On top of the reactors, onto the columns, onto the truss blocks. Does work very, very well for a nice bit of decoration. And a nice way to incorporate warfare reactors onto your design. Especially if you're using a ship where you need to have those reactors on there, but don't know how to make them all pretty. Or don't know how to attach them onto the side of a ship. It makes a great way to break up a flat surface. So there is that. But yes, with that, that was an extremely brief look around the outside of the Typhoon class guided missile cruiser. And it looks bloody fantastic how it's all been set up. Absolutely glorious how the protect blocks have been set all the way around this thing. It really breaks up the overall design. Despite being basically a two-toned coloured ship, it worked very well all the way around this thing, especially at the back with those golden protect thrusters. This is looking at like so, especially when the sunlight hits into them, which is absolutely glorious. Yes, look at that. Absolutely shiny and works very, very well. But no, what I'm going to do now is put the sunlight back to the very top of this ship, like so. I'm going to grab hold of my character, because it's time to go on the inside, where, like I said, it's a very small interior, where we've got a few ways where we can go inside. So what we're looking for is a doorway along the top here. So basically this one will do quite nicely, although there is another way which does a catwalk, which we go and land down on. So here it is, right here. Here we are, we now open up this doorway, a double door for an airlock, so walking through here. And yes, the doors will automatically close up behind you, so no need to actually do that yourself. You can be very lazy on this ship. We come down this ladder, drop all the way down, we've got another orange door to open up, and here we are on the main interior. So we've got 2 ways to go. We've got our left-hand side, which go towards the back of the ship. We've got our right-hand side, we'll go all the way up to our control center, which is how we're going to be driving this thing around. So a quick little look up here, all the way up, if I get my character up there, up to here, there's the door. Oh, that's a ladder. I want to open up this, and there's your main command center. We'll come back to that a bit later on, and that is not the only way to control the ship. No, the creator has gone with a safety measure, but there is an internal cockpit to drive this thing around, so if for whatever reason the main bridge got blasted, maybe a railgun just plowed straight through it, or maybe it scraped into an asteroid, there is a secondary way to drive the ship and to control everything about it. But no, we're going to walk this way. We're going to have a few rooms on the left and right hand side, where they're going to be your living quarters, so into here the door doesn't close up. Here we go, we've got a bed, and then we've got a captain's desk. And then in here we've got a small little section. Behind there will be an air vent. Make sure you don't suffocate. And here's your locker, store a few bits and bobs inside. But as for that, that's it for this room. Across to here, all the way over to this section. Got a shower, and then got a toilet. Not too much privacy in here, but I suppose you could put an LCD screen to fake put a cover in front of that. That's what you want. Or use one of the many mods that do add a doorway to these blocks. It's up to you. But no, we're going to come through this doorway, which is going to be a small little arming room. So here's your armory locker, there's your air vent, and then a small little shelf, another armory locker, and that's about it. So we're coming here to get geared up before going out on our adventure. Opening this up and coming all the way through. Here we go. So into this section is going to be basically what we just saw over on that section. So opening this up, here we are. Bed, captain's desk, little area in there, and that's about it. Opening this up once again, coming all the way around, and then we've got some steps go all the way down. So down to here, and all the way around into this section, where this is going to go into our drone bay. So through here, up the ladder, not going to climb up it, just going to jetpack all the way up. We've got cargo access right here to drop stuff in and out if we need to. But across onto this part, a doorway to open up, and here we are in our drone bay. So yes, we've got doorways on both sides in the form of hangar bays, we've got button panels to press to open them up, and as you're connected to dock something up. So to get something in here, it's going to have to be very small and very thin, a small block drone to actually park up inside here. You're not going to be able to fit in a general fighter or mining ship. No, it's going to have to be a very small, almost UAV-like drone. But anyway, it comes all the way over to this section where you can see our prototype battery right on the floor there. And that's about it this side. And yes, there will be a link to Skybox description below. It's a very fancy one. I believe it is called Christmas Lights. Anyway, back through here, pressing this button, and that's all there is in this section. Yes, there's a small little section right here. We've got pipe blocks, but we can just hide inside and gun anyone who tries to get inside little side doors. Yes, like I said, that is it, this section. So opening up this, coming all the way back down. Here we go. Through this section and over to the stairwell, we've got even more places to go. So down to the bottom, all the way around, that orange door right there is our internal cockpit to drive the ship around. We can pass that air vent. Down to here, hop inside very quickly. There we are for the controls. So yes, we can fly this thing around. And there we are for the thrusters firing. Yes, we'll come out of that a bit later on. Hopping out of that, hiding all the HUD. And we've got a few more ways where we can go further down, which I suppose we'll go to right now because there is going to be a dead end. So down to here, past all of this, to the bottom. That's this section. All the way down once again. Till eventually we get to the bottom floor, which will take quite some time. But what's going to be at the very bottom of this thing is going to be your medical bay. So do make sure you don't break a leg or perhaps lose a leg in the door, because you're going to have to be able to get all the way down those steps, be able to get to the medical bay. But I suppose the captain can always just throw you down. I'll hope for the best. But no, through here, opening this up, here we are, medical bay. Got a medical bay block, we then got our little bookshelf, little table to do your work on. In the middle of there is just a standard table, little scanning machines, locker, and the back there is a couple of cryopods to store your patients inside. And there we are with this section, looking at it like so. And there we are, that is a very good showcase of how great this ship actually is. Looking all the way up, there's a hell of a lot of detail going into the ceiling of this ship. In basically every single room has a lot of stuff going on with it. So when you look up, it's not just a flat surface, not just a bunch of steel blocks. No, it's a bunch of, well, hodgepodge of different stuff. In here we've got a bunch of columns, and we've got all the stuff all the way up there. Not too sure what they are, can't really recognize them with this out. And there we've got interior wall up there. In the middle is a embrasure. In fact, that's a fantastic idea of how to use that block. No, it's just a fantastic way of breaking up the ceiling, make it look very nice and fancy. Anyway, opening up this doorway, we now got to come all the way back up these steps, up and around, here we go, round and around and around, to eventually get up to that section which has that cockpit. There it is, there's our cockpit. Now we've got to come through this section right here. So walking past this, we've got some shelves, we've got some crates, store a few bits and bobs inside. Into here's another doorway to open up. So here we go, we've got our crew quarters, we've got a bunch of beds lining up this area, going all the way across, we've got weapon lockers. Around here we then got a bookshelf, we then got a shower and toilets. Towards the opposite side, we've got a general locker. And there we are for this section. So yes, we can fit a fair few passengers inside here. So we've got a nice place for your crew to sleep in, or maybe just your general passengers who want to come with you on your adventure, where say you're just escorting them to a different location and need to be in a very heavily armed ship. Entirely up to you. No, past this section, we've got more shelves, a doorway to open up, which will eventually lead to the outside. So all the way up, here we go, to the very tippy top. And there we are with our orange door, opening up this, and here we are at the very front of the ship once again. Come back inside, opening this up, dropping back down, and opening up this. We'll grab hold of the ladder once again. Yes, into here, past this section, and here we are with a small little living quarters for your kitchen bay. As you can see here, we've got a counter block, we've got a kitchen, got a bunch of chairs around the table for you to eat your food. There's a coffee machine, a sink, there's your oven, and of course, a small little area to get some Clang Cola. Round to this section, another counter, another little sink, another place to get some coffee, little seat to sit on and eat your food. Then doorway to open up. Opening up this doorway is going to take us to a double door, because behind here is going to be our engineering section, which is a very, very impressive sight. So opening up this and stepping through, here we are. So we've got a massive mess of all different blocks, an organized mess, I should say. We've got reactors, we can see hydrogen engines. In the middle here, our centerpiece is a bunch of small blocks which have been attached up. Well, under there, we see a warfare reactor, a bunch of truss blocks, timer blocks, we then see some decoys, and some programmable blocks. But first of all, looking on the side there, we then got LCD screen telling us all the stuff going on about our ship. Then got a button here which we can press, which could be to control our hydrogen engines, so we can turn them off or turn them on. There we are. Up to there, we've got some more decoys being attached onto different columns, acting as a corner block, then up and around. And there we are. Coming past this section, just looking all the way up at it, just a impressive little thing for a centerpiece. Very nice little touch, which you don't really see too often on ships. A lot of people tend to avoid putting small grids onto a large grid due to the fact they can go a bit wonky and will blow up very easily. No, behind here, past all of this, we then got a prototype block. So looking at this, because I'm not too familiar with the prototype blocks, that is the jump drive. Yes, a jump drive on both sides. You should be able to jump a nice big distance. Looking down there, a green glow. Towards the back here, we've got custom weapon controllers, more reactors, and we've got a bunch of little sorters all the way up and above. And with that, that's it for this section. But where we've got to go now is down these ladders. So down the bottom, here we are. Now we come all the way across through this section. It's going to be the same on both sides, because we both leave the same area. And then here we are on the back section. So we've got ourselves our beacon. In the floor here, a bunch of cargo containers. Around on the side, air vents. Then got conveyors, across some more cargo containers. Then round towards this section, an action relay. Then at the very back there, there's your projector. Then at the very bottom, there's your gravity generator with some O2 H2 generators on either side. And here we are for this small little section. Coming all the way past this. All the way up. All the way through, past this. I do absolutely love this section. It's just a nice little touch to have in the middle of the room that does help break everything up. But no, we want to open up this. Come through here. Here we go. We only got one more place to go, which is going to be our bridge. So we come past the cockpit, all the way up the steps, rounds, up, rounds. And here we come up this ladder. So all the way up to the very tippy top. There we are, down a little bit, opening up this doorway. And here we are on our bridge. So past this section, we've got ourselves our event controller. Here is a programmable block. Here's another programmable block. We've already seen them on the F10 menu. So coming to here once again, there we are. We've got ourselves our artificial horizon, auto door and airlock, got a turret-based radar, ship integrity, automatic LCD screens, which are all jolly good stuff to have on your ship. But yes, this is the main bridge where you see great use of our truss blocks coming from the floor to the top, just to break up the entire room. In the middle is then your little projected table, projecting the integrity of the ship. In front of it is a transparent LCD screen telling us all the important stuff about our ship. In there we can see all of our components. Then on the left and right side we've got some seats to control this thing. One is going to be flying around, one's going to be your co-pilot seats. But turning around, little console seat to sit on, pretend you're doing work. The opposite side, a more fancier console seat. There we go. Then coming over to this one, we want to get to this one first of all. And this would be to fire the missiles. So we're not going to touch them just yet. Like I said, we're going to leave that to the very end. But number one's going to be to fire all the missiles at the same time. Number three is going to be to prep the missiles, which will open up the doorways, allow them to fire out. Number 4 is then to make the missiles stand down, which will close up the doorways. Then 6, 7, 8, and 9 is going to be to print your missiles, which is going to be how you're going to repair them up, and while prep them, be launched again. Onto tab number 2, we then got turrets to turn them on and off all the way around the ship. Then hopping out of this, to the opposite side, here we go for the final part of this video, before we actually go test the missiles out on an enemy. Into this seat, third person view, here we go for the actual main controls. So before we do that, into this, converting it to a ship, there we go. Now putting the camera back to here, moving forwards very slightly, listen to this sound. It's a big chunky bang as they all fire up. Anyway, number 1, number 2, number 3, 3 cameras all around the ship. So here we go. We now see the front, we now see the back, and we now see on the left hand side. For number 5 and number 6 to turn on and off all your turrets around the ships. We've got artillery turrets, assault cannon turrets, then our gatling turrets. At least I believe that's gatling turret, might be the auto cannon. Then we've got 7, 8, and 9 for your thrusters all around the ship to thrust override, and then to turn off the front facing thrusters. So when we move forwards, we won't slow down. Turning it back on, we'll come to a stop. There we go. On to tab number 2, we've got once again our controls for our custom missiles, but we've already gone through them thanks to the other seats. Then on to tab number 3, we've got our auction tanks, hydrogen tanks, O2 H2 generator, our insect connectors, and then the main number 9 for your reactors and hydrogen engines, turn them on and off, and they're going to be for ones in the engineering bay that we just saw. On to tab number 4, we then got our prototype jump drives to turn them on and off, change the range, and of course to jump. Pressing number 5, we can see this thing can jump 2,420 kilometers, which is bloody good stuff, considering the sheer weight of this thing. Look at that, probably the heaviest ship I've ever showcased on this channel. That's absolutely ridiculous for that weight. No, it's still impressive that it can jump that distance, considering all of that. Anyway, number 7 is to turn on and off your thrusters all around the ship. Number 8 and number 9 is for your beacon and antenna. On to tab number 5, got nothing else. 6, 7, 8 and 9, nothing else with that. It's now time to drive this thing around and see how it handles. So moving forwards with all those thrusters, including prototech thrusters, here we go. And yes, for that large, heavy ship, this thing is bloody fast and scary. Imagine this coming barreling towards you and having all the guns fire, all custom missiles coming flying towards you. And yes, look at those trails coming off those prototech thrusts. Absolutely glorious. And we come to a stop, that's what we get. And surprisingly, it's not too bad. It's going to take quite some time to come down to 0 meters per second, but still, it's very well balanced. And if you are flying this sensibly and not actually blasting towards your target, it should stop in a reasonable amount of time. Then for gyroscope controls, as you can see, we will be able to do a 180. This thing's got a lot of control over it. For such a heavy ship, this thing feels like it's a medium-sized frigate, basically, in terms of what it can do. So yes, you can do a 180 to stop it a lot quicker, which could be a very good idea if you do want to barrel towards your station or base, if you are in a hurry. Anyway, moving left. Moving right, we are exceptionally slow with that. That was what I was expecting when moving forwards in terms of speed. The moving down, a little bit better than moving left and right. The moving up feels faster than moving down, but nowhere near as fast as moving forwards or backwards. And of course, for gyroscope controls, moving this thing around with first-person view, here we go. And yes, this thing is surprisingly lightweight. There is some meat on here, so it does drag around quite a lot. So I have to move this around, lift my hand off the mouse. There we are, it does sort of follow through for about 3 seconds, which is to be expected from such a heavy ship, but still it's very unexpected that it can turn like so. But as for that, now it's time for the grand finale. Yes, we're going to go over to some space pirates and fire the custom missiles. Now there is a small asterisk because I'm not going to fire it more than once, and I had to fiddle with these because it does tend to make the game lag quite a lot. So yes, what I've done is alter the settings so they will not activate the projector, they will not activate the welder, so when I fire all the missiles, they will not repair themselves up, because it will absolutely cripple the performance even more than it actually does when firing all the missiles. What I would recommend if you do want to use this ship is to separate the missiles and have them, say, go on a separate timer. So you fire the first volley, like say 2 missiles at once from both sides, and then after about 2 seconds you fire the next set of missiles, so on and so forth. That would help limit the load on the actual game engine. Yes, this thing does not like it when all 22 fire at the same time. So here we are, I found some space pirates. Rather than going over to the Prototech outpost or even the Factorium outpost, what I've done is found a space pirate raider. And yes, what I'm going to do now is come all the way over to it, as close as I can, and then we're going to launch all the missiles. The guns might engage, might actually start blasting, so coming over to here, 4, 5 and 6, turning them all off, so make sure we don't accidentally blast them into pieces before we can actually fire the missiles, or even let the missiles go over to them, actually blow them up. No, here we go, we are now 3.1 kilometers away. We're going to keep moving forwards very, very carefully. I'm not too sure about the range of these. I'm actually going to be like all the other custom missiles I've ever showcased and be about 1 kilometer. They might be a bit longer, because there has been a few that could fire up to say 2.5 kilometers. But no, here we go all the way forwards. I'm now going to rotate this around with our very, very, well, sensitive gyroscopes. Here we go, so moving around, moving forwards. And that'll do quite nicely. So there are the enemies. We are now 1 kilometer around. We're now 900 meters, spinning this round. And there it is right there. So first person view with camera. There they are. We're now going to lock onto them. And here we go. We're now going to pray for my computer, pray for my CPU. Because I'm going to press number 3. That's going to open up all the doors on the side. I'm now going to hide all the signals. And in 3, in 2, in 1, pressing number 1. Here we go. And yes, the game has frozen, although not quite frozen. It's the sim speed that's basically hit 0, where I cannot move this, I cannot wiggle the mouse around, but there goes all the missiles. There it is. You can see how much they are lagging behind that. You can see how low the sim speed is. They have detected the enemy. The swarm of angry bees is going towards the space pirate station. And there they all go. Now going to start blasting into them, into here with the camera. And there we go, all the way across. The rocket launchers on there are trying their damnedest to actually shoot them all down. But that is not going to be enough. The station is now being pushed away there. I actually thought that would have been set down to a station to stop it from moving, but no. All the custom missiles are trying their best to engage with it. We see all the shots coming off it from their gatling guns or the interior turrets. We see all the rocket launchers just blasting straight into them. It's an absolute war zone over there without me even engaging with the turrets. No, we're now going to start moving forwards. Here we go. I'm now going to press number 4, 5 and 6. Oh, we're in the wrong camera. And here we come all the way across. The guns have now engaged. Now we're going to start blasting all the way towards them. We see all the rocket launchers just going off into the distance. We see one of the custom missiles is alive. Oh no, he's now blown up. That might have been a custom missile. Could have been a regular rocket launcher. Here we come all the way across. Now I'm going to tilt down. Get a bit closer. It looks like we are roughly evenly matched. So with this, we want to try and intercept them over in this location. There we go. All the guns are now engaged. Blasting straight into them. And that was an absolute terrible miss. We see over here that there is an enemy coming up to us. I believe this is one of the first time I've ever showcased this script actually working. There it is, the red square to indicate that there's an enemy nearby. Oop, got out of the seats. Now here we come all the way up to it. We're going to keep chasing this thing down until it's dead. And hopefully I can slam straight into it to finish off this video. I'm expecting this whole video to be completely desynced, thanks to firing all those custom missiles. Here we come all the way up to it. It looks like I said, we are evenly matched in speed, so I'm not too sure how much I'm going to be able to catch this thing up. So I'm going to come across like so. Hopefully that'll work. There we go, all the volleys straight into the side. And we might be actually able to damage it. Just tilting around slightly more. And we are very slowly catching up to it. I believe if we keep going in this direction, we will keep going and eventually come into an intercept course. Looking like so. Right out on the side, out to that once again. And we're very slowly moving away from it. Now going to do that. Keep boosting it forwards. Come on, we can do this. Or at least I can do this. I can slam straight into it. I'm determined now to slam this ship into that. See what is remaining. So almost at 1 kilometer. We are almost back to where we started. We actually hit it. Something actually hit it. There we are. We're now at 900 meters. We've got to spin this around a bit more. Here we go. 900. There goes all the rocket launchers. Gonna start hitting into the front of this thing. So close now. 800 meters. 750. Massive spike at the front there where all the guns open fired. That sounded like a bit of bad damage at the front there, but no, we're going to keep pushing forwards. And there is another volley of rocket launchers straight to the front of this thing. There we go. Doesn't really look like too much damage has been dealt to this thing. No, we're going to keep going. Sort of lost my lock on there. Camera, here we go. All the rounds. They've slowed down massively straight into the front of them. Here we go. And there we are. We just slammed straight into them. But not much damage has been dealt. A lot of blocks have been... Well, a lot of blocks are flying everywhere. I don't think it's off this ship. But no, that will do for the Typhoon class guided missile cruiser. It's a bloody fantastic ship to play around with. Bloody impressive ship inside and out. Absolutely love the custom missiles. It's a shame they do tank the sim speed quite a lot. But no, that was a lot of fun. And I have missed playing around with large ships. I should do it more often rather than sticking with small fighters. But no, that's it for this video. There'll be a link to it in the description below to which you download and play around yourself. Highly recommend you do. I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.